Number 9. The global sand crisis. I know what you are thinking. Sand? Really? We have massive deserts full of the stuff. Anakin Skywalker hates it. It gets everywhere. How could we possibly run out of sand? Here is the kicker. Desert sand is useless to us. The grains are too round and smooth from blowing around in the wind. Trying to build with desert sand is like trying to build a castle out of marbles. It just collapses. We need the jagged, angular sand found in riverbeds and on beaches to lock together for concrete and glass. We use 50 billion tons of this stuff every year. That is enough to build a wall 27 feet high and 27 feet wide all the way around the equator. Every single year. We are stripping riverbeds and beaches bare faster than nature can replenish them. There are actual sand syndicates in countries like India and Morocco. I am not joking. People are literally taking extreme measures over granular rock. Experts are quietly panicking because without this specific type of sand, the construction industry stops. No more skyscrapers. No more roads. No more smartphone screens. Imagine if the world suddenly ran out of flour. The bakery doesn't just close. The entire concept of a sandwich ceases to exist. That is what we are facing. We are building the modern world on a resource that is disappearing beneath our feet, and we are just hoping nobody notices the floor sagging. Number 8. The Kessler Syndrome. Look up at the night sky. It looks peaceful. It is actually a scrapyard moving at 17,500 miles per hour. Since we started launching rockets in the 50s, we have left a lot of junk up there. Old satellites, spent rocket boosters, even a spatula that an astronaut dropped. NASA experts are worried about a scenario called the Kessler Syndrome. This is the domino effect from a nightmare. Imagine you are driving on a highway and one car crashes. But instead of just stopping traffic, the debris from that car flies out and hits 2 other cars. Then those cars disintegrate and hit 4 more. Within minutes, the entire interstate is a cloud of flying metal. In low Earth orbit, if 2 satellites collide, they create thousands of pieces of debris. Those pieces smash into other satellites, creating millions of pieces. Eventually, you create a cage of high-speed projectiles surrounding the planet. If this happens, we are trapped. We cannot launch new rockets because they would be vaporized instantly. We lose GPS. We lose weather tracking. We lose global communications. No more Google Maps. No more instant international banking. No more doom scrolling on social media. We would be technologically sent back to the 1970s, but with no way to ever leave the planet again. We would effectively be grounded by the universe for not cleaning up our room. Number 7. The Post-Antibiotic Era. Go check your medicine cabinet. You probably have some old antibiotics left over from a sinus issue. You should treasure those like rare collectibles. The World Health Organization is raising the alarm about this, but most people are just nodding along while taking medication for a viral cold. We are entering the post-antibiotic era. For the last 80 years, we have been playing a video game on easy mode. You get a cut? Take a capsule. You get an infection? Take a capsule. But the bacteria are not stupid. They are evolving. They are learning our moves. And we are running out of options. It is like playing chess against a computer that learns every single strategy you use and becomes immune to it. We are seeing superbugs now that can survive everything we throw at them. Experts are preparing for a future where a simple knee scrape from falling off a bike could be a critical event again. Routine procedures like C-sections, hip replacements, or even chemotherapy rely entirely on antibiotics to keep patients safe. Without effective drugs, those procedures become too risky to perform. We are looking at a return to the medical reality of the 1800s, just with better lighting. So, please, finish your prescription, or you might be the reason the next superbug levels up. Number 6. The Carrington Event 2.0. The sun is not your friend. It is a giant ball of radioactive energy that occasionally burps out magnetic chaos. In 1859, a massive solar flare hit Earth. It was called the Carrington Event. It was so powerful that telegraph operators got shocked through their equipment and telegraph papers caught on fire. If that happened today, we wouldn't just lose a few telegrams. We would lose modern infrastructure. Experts call it a geomagnetic superstorm. It is basically a global system reset. Think of the electrical grid like a highway system. A solar storm is like dropping a 1,000-ton weight on every bridge at the exact same time. The transformers that manage our power grid would physically overheat and fail. These aren't parts you can buy at the hardware store. They are custom-built, massive units that take 2 years to manufacture. If a storm of that magnitude hits us, we are talking about months, maybe years, without electricity. No water pumping into your house. No refrigeration for food. No gas pumps working. Total societal pause within 72 hours. Experts know it is a matter of when, not if. The sun operates on cycles, and we are overdue for a big one. So if your lights flicker for no reason, maybe just start eating the ice cream in your freezer immediately. Number 5. The Cascadia Subduction Zone. Everyone worries about the San Andreas Fault in California, but the real monster is hiding further north, off the coast of Oregon and Washington. It is called the Cascadia Subduction Zone. This is not just a fault line, it is a tectonic time bomb. The San Andreas can give us a magnitude 8 earthquake. That is bad. But Cascadia? It can deliver a magnitude 9.0. That might not sound like a big difference, but the scale is logarithmic. A 9 is 30 times stronger than an 8. It is the difference between a firecracker and a stick of dynamite. When, not if, this thing rips, it will unzip the west coast for 700 miles. But the shaking isn't even the worst part. The worst part is the ocean. About 15 minutes after the shaking stops, a tsunami up to 100 feet tall will slam into the Pacific Northwest. It is like someone sloshing a bathtub, but the bathtub is the Pacific Ocean, and the water is moving at the speed of a jetliner. FEMA has a plan for this. It is basically run uphill and hope. They estimate that everything west of Interstate 5 will be gone. If you live in Seattle or Portland, you might want to invest in some good running shoes. Or a boat. A really sturdy boat. Number 4. Autonomous defense systems. We used to be scared of major conflicts. Now, defense experts are sweating over something much smaller, much cheaper, and much smarter. They are called lethal autonomous systems. But let's call them what they are. Swarm bots. Imagine a drone the size of a hummingbird. Now imagine it has facial recognition software, a small payload, and the ability to make its own decisions about what to target. No human pilot. No guy with a joystick. Just an algorithm and a list. This is not science fiction. The technology exists right now. It is basically combining a smartphone with a kinetic device. The scary part isn't just that they exist, it's that they are cheap. A traditional system costs billions. A swarm of these costs a few $1,000s. You could fit 1 million of them in a shipping container. You could program them to engage people wearing a specific uniform, or people of a specific region, or just people holding a cell phone. It turns conflict into a software update. Experts are frantically trying to create international treaties to regulate them, but good luck telling a garage coder he can't glue a servo to a drone. The era of automated defense isn't coming. It checked in yesterday. Number 3. The Phosphorus Shortage. You need to eat. Plants need to eat. And the one thing plants absolutely crave is phosphorus. It is one of the 3 main ingredients in fertilizer. Without it, modern agriculture collapses, and we go back to farming like it is 1600, which means billions of people go hungry. Here is the problem. Phosphorus is an element. We cannot synthesize it. We have to dig it out of the ground. And we are running out of the high-quality rock we need. It is a concept called peak phosphorus. To make matters more terrifying, nearly 75% of the world's remaining phosphorus reserves are located in one single country, Morocco. Imagine if one country controlled almost all the world's fuel. Now imagine that, but instead of fuel, it is the stuff that makes food grow. It is a geopolitical choke point that keeps agronomists awake at night. If the supply chain breaks, or if prices skyrocket, food prices don't just go up a little, they go vertical. We are treating the soil like a bottomless vending machine. But the out-of-stock light is starting to flicker. It is the most boring crisis imaginable, but it is the one most likely to empty your fridge. Number 2. Fungal adaptation. We all watched the apocalypse shows. We all laughed and said, mushrooms can't survive inside hot human bodies. Well, the fungi took that personally. Fungus usually likes it cold and damp. Our bodies are hot, sitting at around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. That heat has always been our thermal shield against fungal issues. But the planet is getting hotter, and because the outside world is heating up, fungi are evolving to survive in warmer temperatures. Experts are tracking a yeast called Candida auris. It popped up out of nowhere a few years ago on 3 different continents at the same time. It is resistant to major treatments. It survives on surfaces for weeks, and the severity rate for people with compromised immune systems is terrifyingly high. Think of it like a mold that went to the gym and learned to bypass our defenses. It is adapting to our thermal shield. If fungi figure out how to thrive at human body temperature on a mass scale, we are in deep trouble. We have very few antifungal options compared to antibiotics, and developing new ones is hard because fungal cells are biologically similar to human cells. Eliminating them without compromising the host is a very tricky chemistry test. Number 1. The AMOC Collapse. This is the big one, the grandfather of climate events. It stands for the Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation. You can just call it the ocean's conveyor belt. This is the massive current that brings warm water from the tropics up to the North Atlantic. It is the reason Europe isn't a frozen wasteland. It keeps the global weather patterns stable. It regulates the rains for agriculture in India and South America. It is the heartbeat of the planet's climate system, and it is slowing down faster than anyone predicted. If this current stops, it is not a gradual warming scenario. It is a rapid freeze scenario. The weather snaps. Europe plunges into a deep chill. The eastern United States sees sea levels rise by 3 feet almost overnight because the water isn't moving away anymore. The rains that feed billions of people in Asia and Africa fail completely. We used to think this was a problem for the year 2100. New data suggests it could happen as early as 2025 or the 2030s. That is next Tuesday in geological time. It is like the radiator in your house bursting in the middle of a blizzard. Scientists are currently detecting warning signs that the system is losing stability. So, while we argue about plastic straws, the entire engine that keeps the Earth habitable is starting to sputter. If that doesn't make you want a stiff drink, I don't know what will. I'll see you in the bunker.